So the Dead Space remake has been announced, and IGN did a discussion with the devs of the remake. So that was a very interesting video. I will go ahead and link it for you guys to watch. But I wanted to touch on some key points that they spoke about in the video from IGN. And these are coming directly from the developers themselves that are working on the game. It's being developed by Motive under the EA license. And if you're not familiar, Motive recently worked on Star Wars Squadrons, which was actually a very good game. If you haven't played it, go play it. It deserves a playthrough. It's not an expensive game. It was kind of a surprise title that they released, and they released it, I think it was $35 at launch. And I think recently they gave it for part of the PlayStation Plus if you have PlayStation Plus. So anyways, some things that they were talking about. They mentioned that they are using the original assets as a base to build on from the original Dead Space. They are rebuilding the game and not porting anything. So that includes sound, level design, and textures, and they are rebuilding animations. Now, I have some concerns regarding this. And the biggest thing for me is sound. Now, I'm not saying they can't do a good job in sound, but one of the biggest things that I highly hold as one of the highest regards in any video game is the sound quality in Dead Space and Dead Space 2. The lengths that they went through to make sure that this game had the best sound that you could possibly get in a video game is incredible. And if you've never watched a documentary on the making of Dead Space, I encourage you to go watch that documentary. It is incredible what they did in order to get this game made. And sound, I still to this day use Dead Space as a way to gauge sound for other games when I'm doing reviews, as well as doing reviews on headsets. So I have different headsets that I've reviewed for different companies, and I use Dead Space as a way to test the headsets, because that is a very important thing for me when it comes to Dead Space and just the headsets in general. So that's something that concerns me, that they're rebuilding the sound. Again, I'm sure they're going to do a fantastic job with it, but I do believe that that is a very big set of shoes to fill when it comes to the sound. They stated they want to stay true to the experience of the original game, which I think they can do it, especially if they're using the original game as a base. They're not going to change. They're not going to make it like a complete remake, like as Resident Evil 3 Remake was. They're trying to stay true to the source material as true as possible. More along the lines of probably Resident Evil 2 Remake, not Resident Evil 3 Remake, which is okay with me. They are rebuilding the game on the Frostbite engine, as the original engine is too old, which that makes sense. Using the Frostbite engine, they're able to add more textures to the characters and to the level designs and everything like that. And if you haven't played Star Wars Squadrons, I highly encourage you to play it. While the characters in Star Wars Squadrons were not the best looking, I commend them with everything else that they did with that game. The designs of the ships, the designs of the environments was absolutely breathtaking. So I'm sure that with enough people working on Dead Space and with enough time, that they can deliver a product that is incredibly beautiful and gory. They stated that they wanted to improve the gameplay in the same way that the second game improved on the first. Now, this is really important because the gameplay in Dead Space 1 still holds up. The only problems is the space segments, because they didn't have the capabilities that they had in the second game, as far as being able to change the way that the space segments worked, where you had full control once you were in those space segments, versus the original game where you could only just aim and jump to different walls. That's something that they want to incorporate and do it the way that the second game did, instead of the original game, which I am all for that. They said they are utilizing new gen hardware to add 3D audio, ray tracing elements, and better fluid animations. Now, for me, ray tracing elements are not the biggest thing. I don't really care so much for most games, but I think in a game such as Dead Space, where you're in enclosed quarters, such as the Ishimura, and the hallways and everything, I think ray tracing could be utilized very well in this type of situation, and especially the 3D audio. Going back to how they're rebuilding the audio, while I do have concerns with that, at the same time, because they are using next-gen hardware with the 3D audio, that's probably the reason why they have to rebuild the audio, because the audio originally was designed for 5.1 surround sound, and now we have headsets with 7.1 surround sound and 3D audio in the newest headsets. Like, for example, the headset for the PlayStation 5 is 3D audio 3D audio capable. Like, for example, also my Corsair headsets that I use, the expensive ones, like the $200 headsets from Corsair, those are 7.1 surround sound. So again, I mean, the audio from the original Dead Space, obviously it's old. You're talking about 2008. So audio techniques and design has drastically improved since 2008. Talking about 3D audio, they want to use the 3D audio to expand on the audio design to make it more accurate, as opposed to the 5.1 surround sound. So they want to use it to make the necromorphs, the way that they crawl through the vents and everything like that, they want to make it more precise, which I am so excited for that. They want to keep immersion with no loading and improve story elements while keeping the major story points intact. Again, 100% down for that. Please do that. No microtransactions. They made sure to say we are not doing microtransactions. And when they do stuff like that, when they say that they are not doing microtransactions, they usually mean it, because again, they don't want the fiasco that happened with Dead Space 3, which killed the game, or killed the series for a lot of people. And like Star Wars Squadrons, they said we are not putting microtransactions in Star Wars Squadrons. As Star Wars Squadrons launched, no microtransactions. So super excited that they actually just went out flat and stated, like, no microtransactions. They want to have evolved mechanics revolved around dismemberment. I don't know what that means. They went into a little bit more detail in the video. Again, I'll link it for you guys, but I'm excited. Here's another big one too: community involvement to make sure they stay on track, which is awesome. They are actually talking to people in the community who are fans of Dead Space, to make sure that they don't deviate from the original style of the game. They want to keep it as true to the survival horror genre as possible. They want to keep it as true to the original story as possible, and make it as scary as they possibly can, just to give us that experience that we had when we first played Dead Space. So yeah, that was the interview. Again, I'll link it down for you guys so you guys can watch the entire interview, and let me know down in the comment section what you think about this. I'm excited. Like, when developers and stuff start talking about the the different things that they want to do with certain games and certain projects and stuff, and not so much like, oh, here's a roadmap. No, when they're actually sitting down and you see the excitement on their faces, and you can tell that they want to deliver something that the fans are going to truly enjoy. And I am so excited for this remake. It's not a remake that I think needed to happen, but you know what? I am glad it is happening. I can't wait to play this. I can't wait to play this. Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you guys are new. I will see you guys in the next video, and remember, make us whole.
Whatever was in the flight lounge must have left. That's lucky for us. Isaac, get back to the Kellion and prep it for launch. We'll find out where we can from the bridge and meet you there.
If we live that long.